Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone. How are you today? If you can hear the sound of my voice, that means you have stumbled across Grandma's Games Lab. Hello there. I'm Grandma. This is my Games Lab, where we explore games, brains, and history. And our last episode took us into risk and reward and gambling and how games help us to internalize probability calculations on risk versus reward. Is this really worth doing? Which is a critical survival skill. When you are an early human on this planet, in the environment early humans existed in, there's a whole lot of challenge. And being able to do things quickly, that's what our brains are good at. Pattern recognition, baby. Everything comes in threes. So I thought about going over poker. We've done cribbage and backgammon. I still have pinochle on the list. That might be in 2 weeks. I might start doing 2 shows a week, actually, so it might be next Saturday. Because I'm trying to look at, first of all, analog games. Let's look at the basis of game mechanics and gameplay loops and what keeps people playing, what becomes enjoyable as a solo game, what's enjoyable as something you play with friends. And so I'm trying to get into how the earliest games, like the Royal Game of and backgammon, dice games, card games, all of that, how they helped humans to evolve into the creatures we are today. Because I believe that games are good for your mind and good for your mental health. And like any other tool, when used properly, absolutely fabulous. So, as fun as poker can be, I feel like lots of people know poker. It's like chess. It's pretty easy to learn all about poker no matter where you go. So in looking at other games that involve high risk, high reward, I've had a lot of friends talk about Farkle in the past, especially when I was in the military. We run across a lot of people, especially from the middle United States, who were big Farkle fans. And I never knew what they were talking about. When they would try to explain the game to me, I would get completely lost. So part of Farkle is that it's very, very simple. Let's go to the slideshow and take a look here. Let me bring this up. Bippity boppity boo. Okay. Here we are, Grandma's Games Lab. Let's look at Farkle. So the beauty of Farkle is that it is a very simple game. It's a dice game. It could date back to the 14th century, but the best records say that it arrived in the Americas around the 1600s through French traders coming across from Europe. Simple game, 6 dice, 6 sides, numbered 1 through 6, right? We do need to make sure that we are saying there's a, let's get rid of that episode title. Thank you. That you don't have a 6-sided die that has the same number on every side. And I have said this before, if you've never done the exercise in college or in any kind of management training where you are challenged to, with a team of people and several teams, everybody write down the instructions for how to blow a bubble with bubble gum. And it's amazing the number of people who won't start at the beginning. And so in reading one group's instructions, I remember the facilitator or professor took a piece of bubble gum, wrapper and all, and put it in his mouth because that's what the instructions said to do. So let me be pedantic about this for reasons that are my own, and you can ignore the pedantry as much as you want. Okay, the game requires 6 dice, each with 6 sides and numbered 1 through 6 discreetly. Each player rolls all 6 dice to start their turn. Grab all 6, throw the dice, remove scoring dice, then continue rolling the remaining dice, removing and scoring as you go. If all 6 dice have been removed as scoring dice, so you get down to the last die, it comes up, it's a scoreable die, and you remove it, the player may continue rolling using all 6 dice again, and removing and marking scored dice until they either choose to bank or they roll a Farkle. None of that's going to make a lot of sense, but I want to put the very basic elements of gameplay out there as this is the gameplay loop. You start with 6 dice, you roll them. As long as you keep scoring, you keep rolling. When you're no longer scoring, you stop rolling. There's a caveat here. Good morning, Wolfie. So, you start with your 6 dice, and you roll them. Here's how you know if something has scored so that you can mark it. Any 1 that you roll, it's worth 100 points. Easy. Any 5 that you roll, it's worth 50 points. Thank you for that, Wolfie. I hope it goes well, too. I'm only going to be here for about an hour, so we're going to try to keep this pretty simple. And then hopefully we'll be able to play tomorrow. For anybody who's watching on the YouTubes, we have a Discord, and every Sunday we try to get together for community games. And sometimes that's Among Us, sometimes that's Cribbage, sometimes that's Hideous Abominations. We, never know what we're going to find because we're always trying to come up with fun things for us to do. So since I'm teaching this, I'm hoping that we can get a group together to play because I will be demonstrating how to play, and hopefully that will be fun for you. Okay, so you're going to roll all 6 dice. A 1 is 100, a 5 is 50. And then pairs don't mean anything. Later down here, maybe, but you have to get a bunch of pairs. You can't just have 1. So if you have 3 of a kind, that's the good one. You want to get 3 of any number. And I'll show you as we roll, it'll be easier to explain. Since 1s are already worth 100 each, instead of this being 100, it's 300 because there's 3 of them. But the numbers go up. If you get a pair of triplets, so not just a 3 of a kind, but since you're rolling 6 dice, you get double 3 of a kind. Well, aren't you the luckiest creature on the planet? Because now you're getting 2,500 points, which is the second highest point score you could get in a roll. 4 of a kind? Awesome. 4 of a kind with a pair. Now, mind you, this all has to be done on a single roll. Once dice are scored, you cannot add to them. So this is not an additive game. Each roll is a discrete scoring event. But if you roll on a single roll of 6, 4 of a kind with a pair, you're getting 1,500 points. 5 of a kind, 2,000. 6 of a kind, 3,000. What if you get 3 pairs? Okay, now pairs count for something. Otherwise, pairs don't mean anything. And if you go ahead and roll yourself a straight, and that needs to be all 6 dice. 1 through 6. There's no other way to do it. 1,500 points. Now here's the big caveat on how everything can collapse for you. Farkle. Farkle means you don't have any scoring dice. Now what's a Farkle gonna look like? Well, I'll show you because it's too easy to get. That means you have no ones, no fives, no triples. So keeping in mind that twos, threes, fours, and sixes on their own count for nothing. Here's your gameplay mechanics. Roll, score, repeat. You bank or you farkle to end your turn. A player is not required to score all the dice that score from a roll. If you have a 1, a 5, and a bunch of junk, the recommendation is pull the 1 and re-roll the 5. Now, if you only have a 5 and no other scoring dice, you must pull it. If you do not pull a die from your roll and score it, your turn ends. You may not keep rolling unless you score something. Savvy? Savvy. Players may only stop to bank their score once they have reached 500 total points in a turn without a Farkle. So this is very similar to if you play draw poker. Many times they'll say you can't open betting unless you have, at minimum, a pair of jacks. If you don't have a pair of jacks, you need to pass. So a player who scores all 6 dice, so you've rolled 2, or you've rolled, you scored 2, you rolled, you scored 3, you rolled, the last one was a scoring die. Well, you're still scoring, so you get to start over with all 6. Those are hot dice. You re-roll all 6 as a new turn until they stop. And bank, or if you roll a Farkle, well, everything's gone from the start of your turn. It erases the entire turn. There's no limit to the number of hot dice you can have in a single turn. That means you roll all 6 are scored, you keep rolling, all 6 of those are scored. This is hot dice. And so anybody who's played in a Savage Worlds TTRPG space, this is pretty much a likely source of that concept, where if you get an 8 on the 8, you keep rolling. 6 on the 6, you keep rolling. So that's the hot dice concept. And again, we'll be demonstrating everything on Tabletop Simulator momentarily. A Farkle, no score among the rolled dice, erases all the points marked since that player's turn began, ending the player's turn and banking 0 points. So you roll, all 6 are scored, you roll again, you get halfway through, roll a Farkle, none of the dice you have rolled since your turn started will count. Okay? Okay. Now, this is a little bit of probability and mental calculations. We can come back to this. Let's come over here and let Tabletop Simulator get on top of things. And I will show you how we're going to play. Can I just load a game? How do I... Nope. I don't want the tutorial. Main menu, please. That's credits. I still can't remember how to load a game. I guess we just create single player. Okay, this is the table that I put together to show off Farkle. And, you know, you can keep score on paper. Keeping score on paper is no problem. It's easy for people to keep track of the numbers because you're just using 50s and 100s and 200s, and it's pretty simple math. You go up to 10,000 and call it good. So I put in our notebook why do you do that? Our scoring. So we can keep track of that. And let's pick up our dice. For people who are new to Tabletop Simulator, this is a wonderful program. Takes a little getting used to in how to pick things up and move them around. The fun thing is with these dice here, I can right click and just tell it to roll the dice. Golly. Well, I have a couple scoring dice. Right? I have 3 6s here. So that'll be 600. And we'll pull them off the board over here. Okay. They are all by themselves. Nothing else can be scored on them. Even if I roll 3 more 6s, it will never count as 6 of a kind. All right, let's follow. I have a 5. Now that 5 is worth 50 points. The 4 and the 2, worth nothing. This is where we need to go back to our slide real quick. When you're looking at the probability of what can happen, I love this definition. I love probability. I really sincerely wanted to be a statistician at one point when I was in graduating high school. Calculating probability is all about counting some things that can happen, then dividing them by everything that can happen. Easiest to understand with a coin toss. There's 2 possibilities, but only one of them can happen at a time. So, your opportunity to get the thing you want, the probability of getting the thing you want, is 1/2 or 50%. So when you look at the number of dice, this is all about combinations. The number of dice gives you a certain number of possibilities. Each one of these numbers can be raised to the 6th power, because there are 6 sides to each die. As you say, 1 raised to the 6th power is 6. 2 raised to the 6th power is 6 times 6, 36. 6 cubed is 216, and so on up the line. The total maximum number of distinct rolls when you are rolling 6 dice from that first roll, you have 46,656 possibilities. I'm rolling 3. If I roll 2, I have a chance of getting 36 possibilities. If I roll 3, I have the chance of 216. Let's go back to the game. I could roll 2 and have a chance of 36 different possibilities, or I could roll all 3 and have 216 different items. Let's see what we get. That's another way to roll, by the way. Well, that's unexpected. I got 3 6s again. No, use down. Really? Sometimes Tabletop Simulator can be annoying. All right, so that's 600. And how you do that is when you have triplets, you just look at the number of pips on the face of your die, and that's by 100. So if that's a 2, 3 twos, 200. 3 threes, 300. 3 fours, 400. Simple. This game is so simple. So here we have all 6 dice have been scored. I could stop. I'm over 500 points, and I could stop. But if I roll all 6 dice again, I have another 46,656 possibilities. And some of them are really good. All right, let's do it. I have a 1. Nope, don't take all of them. I have a 1 for 100. Now I have 2 5s. That'll be another 100. And you can't keep something and then roll against it. You either roll everything that's left or you don't. I think I'm going to take these 2 5s over here and score them as 100 and bank my turn. That's it. I'm going to stop rolling. Because if I roll a Farkle right now, all of this score goes away. Here, let me take these stacks and move them. Okay. So that's, you can see if you mouse hover over something, Tabletop Simulator will tell you the value of it, how many there are, and what the total is. And same here. So I could stack up both of those piles, but at the moment I have 1,400 as my score. I'm going to end my turn and pass play over to the next player. Okay, so we give the dice to the next player goes, so on, and now it comes back to me. We can put them up here and do our roll mechanic. Oh, that's working out really well for me. I swear, I rolled like 12 Farkles the first time I played on Tabletop Simulator. Now, I did enough computer programming to know that computers are inherently bad at randomization. But we have a full scoring hand. All 6 dice have scored, which means I have hot dice. And I don't even have to take the 1 and the 5 if I don't want to. I could take the 1 and not take anything else. Does that make sense? You just have to score something. Now, would it be smart? Hell no. You mad? No way. Oh, let's get everybody. There we go. So we'll pull these 4s aside because that's a nice, easy 400. No. That's another fun thing in Tabletop Simulator. If something like that happens, you can mouse hover over it and just use your number keys on your keyboard. I think I'm going to score all of this. I think I'm going to take the 400 and the 1 for another 500 and take the 5 for a 50 and roll all 6 over again. So you see, I have 4 of a kind. Oh no, 4 of a kind is not 500. Nope, put that back. Grandma's gone plumb crazy. All right, 4 of a kind is 1,000. I'm thinking 3 of a kind. Let me drink my tea a little bit. Hang on, I've been talking too much. Pay attention to my own scoring. 4 of a kind is worth 1,000 points. So we'll bring the 1 over and make that 100. All right, so now we have 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 2,550. And we get to roll all 6 dice again because they all scored. Ready, steady, go. And that looks like triple twos. All 6 dice have scored again. I got hot dice. Well, again, we said there's no limit to how many times that can happen, right? So we have a 5 for 50. We have 2 ones. That'll get us 1. Nope, just 1, 2. Oh, we need to keep these separate, don't we? That's why you should do it on paper. Okay, we scored the 1,000 this turn. We have to keep the scores from our individual turns separate, because if I Farkle, I lose only this. You never lose what's in the bank, ever. That's why, you know, it can be safer to stop your turn. But we have 3 2s for 200. Yeah. So if I highlight all of this, it'll show me my total score now on this turn is 1,500 points. So yeah, let's take all 6 dice and keep this hot dice thing going. If I've messed up in here somewhere, it'll all work out. It's fine. All right, we have triple ones for 300. A pair of 6s means nothing. All right, let's take these ones. And roll the rest. Now, keeping in mind, if I Farkle, I lose everything. I Farkled. And that's your risk and reward. Does that make sense? Okay. So we'll start over. We'll just assume that I have made my first 500 and banked my first 500 points. If you pick something up with your left mouse button and hover over something and click your right mouse button, you will pick that other thing up. Right? I like rolling like this. It's viscerally satisfying to watch them all. Wow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They get a little far away from each other. I have a 5, so I can score that for 50. And nothing else here scores. Pairs mean nothing. Okay. And that's a Farkle. The 50 goes back. Dice go to the next player. Then dice go to the next player. Then the dice come back to me. And I have a 5, so I can keep rolling. Actually, we'll put this back here. I'll put the banked stuff up on the rail. Now, if that had been a 5 and I had 3 pairs, I could have had 1,500. Okay, that's a whole lot of nothing, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Oh, the 1. There we go. I got a 1. Pay attention. 1s and 5s are scoring. 1. And you can do this on pencil and paper. I just thought using the chips would make it fun. So there's another 5. There's another 1. Oh, all right. I'm going to take this 5 and then I'm going to end my turn so that I can bank all of this. So we'll pass the dice on to the next player. And I'll put my bank up on the rail and I can highlight my bank, hover over it, and it shows me that my total score right now is 850. Okay. Any of that making sense? So we'll assume this player goes, and now I'm going to go again. We have to get to 10,000 to win. Triple twos. It's not really great, but I don't have anything else scoring, and if I want to keep rolling, I have to keep these guys. Okay, and again, each, don't do it. Don't do it like that. I'm just trying to get them together. So that's 200. Nope, just 2. Okay. I know there's probably an easier way to do that part. So again, remember, the number of dice raised to the factor of 6. I have 216 distinct possibilities here. I got a 1 for another 100. And now I can keep rolling. I only have 36 opportunities to get anything. I need to get 1s or 5s. Nothing else is going to count. Pairs don't count for anything. Nope, that's a Farkle. I lose all them points. All gone. Okay. Give the dice to the next player. Give the dice to the next player. And I should use that roll function. It seems to give me better luck than this. Okay, I have a 1 for 100. So you see, if you keep rolling, your chances of getting a Farkle are a whole lot better. A 1, 2 5s. That's worth 100. And a 2 and a 4. It's terrible odds. But you got to try, right? Okay, I got a 5. I got 50 more points out of it. Now what? Do you ever roll 1? I have a 33 and a third % chance of getting a 1 or a 5. Risk and reward, baby. It's a Farkle. Okay, everything's gone. We lost everything. So you see what I mean with this game being such a good demonstration of gambling. Because when you win, you really win. And when you don't, you don't. Okay, I have 3 1s. I will take that. And the gameplay loop does go pretty fast. I've been taking it slow so that I can explain things. All right, there's 1, 2, 3. Pair counts for nothing. Here we go. Oh, golly. All right, we have another 1 and a 5. All right, that's a 100. And that's a 50. What do you think? 33 and a third % chance that I'll get a 1 or a 5. And it's still a 4. I lose everything all over again. It's really addicting, especially when you're playing with like 4 or 6 people. I mean, that's when you think about being around your friends. And we'll bring the dice back to me. What do we got? Oh, lucky me. Lucky me. Okay, we have 4 3s. Now, if that had been a pair, it would be worth 1,500. It's not. It's just the 1,000. So we have to pull those, score those, and I can roll these 2 or not. I'm not going to do it. I had a couple Farkles in a row. I feel like I'm just going to bank my points and pass the dice on to the next player. And then they pass them on, and then it comes back to me, and I can run it all over again. Oh my. Physics. Okay, what do we got? We got a 1 for 100. Now, once I've pulled this, I do not have to pull the 5. This is an important strategy. When I roll 5 dice, let's go back to our numbers. When I roll 5 dice, I have 7,000 distinct combinations. If I roll 4, I only have 1,200. So in this scenario, the chance to roll 5 dice is going to get me something much better than pulling that 5 and rolling 4. This is then what begins to happen in the brain instinctively. And why I say playing games is presenting you constantly with new information. It's giving you new combinations of things to evaluate. And again, we're going to leave the 5 in this pool so that I have the maximum opportunity. At least this time I have 1,200 versus 200. Rolling 3 dice is only 200 different possibilities. Why are you doing this? And that's a Farkle. No 1s, no 5s. And that's why I have the points listed this way. And I'm not sure if you can see that on stream at all. Let me come back over to the slideshow. The trick is you want to look for 1s and 5s first. Then you want to look for your 3 of a kinds. And if you have double 3 of a kind, woo, lucky. Then your 4s, 5s, 6 of a kind, 3 pairs. The only time pairs are going to count for anything for you. A straight or a Farkle. Okay. We'll play a little bit more on the game and then we'll call it a day. So that's a Farkle. We give the dice to the next player. I think it was. I have the attention span of a gnat, so. And give it to the next player and bring it back to me. I'm just going to tell you to roll so we stop getting those cocked dice. Okay, wow, that was nearly a big O Farkle. Roll. No, it's still doing cocked dice. That's annoying. Well, lucky me. I'll take that 1 for 100. So it's just 6 dice. Six-sided dice. Take 1 for 100. We got to do it. Oh, and we lose everything. So after a while, when people have been playing a game like this, it does become very much like 5-card stud and other things, where your ability to calculate the probabilities in large numbers becomes better and better over time. I'm going to leave that 5 in there. It'd be nice to see something big. I don't think we're going to get it. I keep taking chances with 3 dice. I think this time I am just going to bank my points and send these over to the next player. All right. It might take a minute to get to 10,000. What do I have already? 2,000. Well, who knows what my opponents have. Wow, okay. I don't hate that at all. 4 of a kind is worth 1,000. If I had a pair, I'd get another 500. All right. Yeah, I'm going to call it good. I'm going to bank. That's just if you grab them and then shake your mouse a little bit. All right. Up and over. Oh, that's a straight up Farkle. I got nothing times nothing, carry the nothing. So there you go. That's what Farkle looks like. I have a 2, 2 3s, 2 4s, and a 6. Not a 1 or a 5 in sight. No scoring. It's no score for you. Okay. Okay. I am simulating the other players just because I think it's a bit of a sportsmanship kind of a thing. So that you can see that there would normally be, you know, other people. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, 2 more ones. No, give me that. Thanks. I have taken too many chances with 3 dice and 216 possibilities. I'm turning everything over to the next player. There you go, mate. Have a good turn. All right. Beep, 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 beep. I could roll for all the other players as well, but... Ooh, so close to Farkles. So close to Farkles. We don't like it. All right, that's 200 more. I'm going to take your stack because you're not using it. Oh, here we are again with our 3 dice dilemma. Should we stay or should we go? I think we got to show. Oh, that one was almost a 1. All right, 400. Yeah, I'm not going to say that's not a bad turn. We're going to bank it. You can accrue a little bit over time, or you can try to get the whole glory, get a straight, or 6 of a kind, or 2 triplets. But right now our total score is 3,850. Beep, 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 beep. So the nice thing about games like this is when I remember in my growing up, we would always pull out board games and card games if the power went out. Not that we were that digital. I mean, we're still talking about the 70s and 80s. But it was kind of hard to read by candlelight, so... I'm going to take my 200. Hey, give it. What'd you get? All right, 2 5s is still 100. Let's do it. I don't have very much. It's not like I'm going to lose that much. We take the chance and we get another 100. That's a 400 turn. If this comes up as a 1 or a 5, I keep rolling. I start all over with 6 dice. You got it. You got to try sometimes. And it's not. And we lose all of it. Okay, next player. Next player. Back to me. That's 4 of a kind with a pair. We finally did it, Reddit. 4 of a kind with a pair is 1,500. And I get to roll all 6 dice again. Now, if I Farkle on all 6 dice, I lose this. Two 1s, 2 5s. You know what? I like it. I'm giving my turn because that's a pretty significant haul right there. That's 1,800. Yeah. We'll give the dice up to my opponent and I'll wait for my next roll. First one to 10,000 wins. I see a lot of 4s, but I see 3 4s. That's 400. So what no, we have to, actually I have to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, our 3 dice dilemma. Oh, I farkled. I farkled. Excuse me. So you see, once you pull dice to score them, nothing you roll after that can be added to the scored dice. So off to my opponent, back to me. Now look at the horse. Now look at me. Now look at the horse again. Um, that looks cocked. I can't keep that one. Oh, well, it stayed the same. Triple threes will get me 300. And 2 ones will get me another 200 for 500. All right. 33% chance. Oh, and we just put that right on back. Come on back. Okay. And ba-da-ba. So people who've played Farkle their whole lives, please be kind. Oh, look at that. See? That's beautiful. 4 of a kind with a pair. So another 1,500. And hot dice. Please, no Farkle. No Farkles. Anything scoring. Anything at all. 2 ones. I will take that 200. And I will hand over the dice. Because I'm a chicken. The true thing about Farkle is go big or go home. And I'm just not that good a player. I'm a terrible gambler. 7,350. We're almost to 10,000. Okay. Let's see how long it takes to get to 10,000. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1,500 for a straight. I like the poker chips versus writing it down. Not that I have a problem with math. I love math. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doesn't count for anything. I'll take the 1 for 100 and roll 5. Woo, that was so close to being nothing. I'm not going to risk it. I don't want a whole lot of nothing. I'm going to take my points and turn the dice over. Yep, Grandma the chicken. And let's see if we can get to 10,000. I see 4 of a kind with a pair. That'll get me 1,500. Since all 6 dice were scored, let's do it again. No Farkles. Please, no Farkles. Okay. I have 2 ones for 100 each. Nope, we're going to roll the 4. Not even pulling that 5. It's not worth it. 5 said, what do you mean I'm not worth it? Well, now I'm going to pull it because we'll get 100 for that and 50 for that. Okay. I should probably keep the music on. How are we doing now? 10,800. Bam, 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 bam. There it is. That's the game. It's probably impossible to see on the video up there, but I have 4 50s plus 6 1000s, 5 500s, 21 hundreds. Woo! Okay, good game. GG. And there you go. That's how you score your dice in Farkle. That's how you play this game. So you don't need any deck of cards. You don't need any special board. You just need to know how to score really weird things in an odd way. And that's why I want to look at Pinochle, because Pinochle is a very similar game to this, where the actual order of the cards is flipped around, and you don't use any card below an 8. So again, we're going into this arena, if you indulge me, of how, let's switch out to here, thank you, of how games improve our brain's ability to process. That every time we're presented with new information, we have synapses firing in between, just like little connect the dots in your brain. And the more used a pathway becomes, the more discrimination you have to do of, is this good? Should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? That's all that beautiful prefrontal cortex development and myelination of your neurons, I believe. And it just makes your brain better. Even a simple game like this. And you can imagine the same way that you can imagine cribbage being played on submarines and how that became the game of submariners, to the point of there being dedicated tables built into the submarines. And how a game like this would be ridiculously fun for sailors who don't have much storage room to put things. And so all you need is to have your set of dice and some way of tabulating your score. Like I say, I thought using the poker chips was fun. And yeah, so what we'll do is head out here. I've got to figure out what's going on with the music, because when I put the music on, I don't think you can hear it. And I keep switching it back to monitor off, monitor and output. There it is. All right, so that's going to be the end of the show today. That's Farkle. That's understanding risk and reward and possibility, probability, taking a chance. Is it worth losing everything? But if I haven't had a very good scoring turn, then maybe it is worth trying to get the hot dice. You know, all you have to do is roll a 1 in each roll to have all 6 dice count. Thank you for joining me on Grandma's Games Lab. Our next episode, we're going to continue to look at risk and reward and how risk-taking and understanding that gambling, as they say, it was a calculated risk, but I'm very bad at math. How those things are baked into our brains and how we can improve them and make them better by playing games. Thank you for joining me. See you when I see you. Bye.